Hello and welcome to tutorial 195 in the series of tutorials and programs that focus on TradeStation Easy Language. And I had a question from somebody who was asking how you would go about creating new files within a program. So for example, in the past, what we've done, like in tutorial 145, we've defined a file name in the inputs, and then we've used StreamWriter to write information to that file name. In this case, what we're going to be doing is the program will actually create a new file every hour, and it will create it with a unique name. So again, we're going to be using StreamWriter. Let me just show you the program. We're going to be defining the path as an input. Now the path is somewhere on your directory system where TradeStation can write and possibly read information. So it needs to be somewhere that is accessible to TradeStation. If it is not, you will get an error and you will need to find a path that is accessible to TradeStation. So let's start with the once statement. Now we define our file name using the symbol name, the bar interval, and then the date and the hour, and we finish it off with a .csv, which is a comma separated value. And that looks something like this if we look at the files that have been created. So in this case, T195 at ES _1 underscore then the date. So we've got the month, July, the day in the month, 24th, the year, 23, then _08, because at the moment we are looking at 8 o'clock. So we're on 8:23, 8:24 at the moment. And what the program does, it calculates moving averages, which I've just used as a sort of proxy to demonstrate how you can do this. You could put in something more useful, but at the last tick of the bar, it writes that to the file. So for an example, I'm just going to click on the file created for the 7 o'clock hour. It's comma separated. Just open that in the spreadsheets. You can see that for each minute, 7:03, 7:04, 7:05, etc., we're just writing the date, the time, and then the two values that we're calculating. You could add additional values, and you probably won't do moving averages, but that was just for the sake of an example. So that is the once statement. That happens when the program first runs. And we do this, we create a StreamWriter using the path and the file name, and we set it to be true. Now the true means that the output will be appended to an existing data in the file. We then print some of the information, then we use auto flush. That means that it's going to flush its buffer to the underlying file after every call to the StreamWriter writer. So that is the once statement, because this program might start processing on any bar within an initial hour. But then what we do after that is every time we get a change of hour, and we're doing that using bar date time.hour is different from bar date time square brackets 1. In other words, 1 bar ago, and since we've got this applied to 1 minute bars, you'll see, so for example, if we look at what happened on the 8 o'clock bar, we would detect the 8 o'clock hour on this bar, and then the previous bar was the 7 o'clock hour. So when that occurs, we then, on the last tick of the bar, of the 1 minute bar, so that would be, in this case for the 8 o'clock, it would be the end of this 1 minute bar here. Then we go through a similar process to what we did in the once statement. We redefine the file name, which of course has changed because the hour's changed. We close the existing SW data because we've been writing to it. We need to close it in order to create a new one. Use that using the same syntax that we used in the once statement, the auto flush, and we end that. So what we do as soon as it's the last tick of the 1 minute bar and the hour has changed, we create a new StreamWriter, and then what we do at the end of each 1 minute bar, then we write information to the StreamWriter, or we use the StreamWriter to write information to the file. Along the way, we're calculating moving averages, but here's the syntax. So we've got, we're writing the date and the time. We're adding the commas to make it so that we can separate the values. Then we're adding the values of the two averages. You could add additional values there if you wanted to, just add the comma and the new value. And then that is added to the file. We're also plotting this information, and what I've done for historic bars, I've just plotted them using one color. For real-time bars, I'm plotting them using another color. So you can see here the cyan and the magenta, they're the bars that have been plotted in real time, and these other ones are the historic bars. But whether real time or historic, that information is being written by StreamWriter into the files that we've got stored here. The only other thing I think that is worth mentioning is when the program is uninitialized, then we close the StreamWriter, and we do that just using the analysis technique uninitialized, which you can, if you go to the properties for your program and you go to the little lightning strike here, if you were to double click there, you will see the syntax deposited in your program. But what you also will need to do is go to Tools, or rather View, Designer Generated Code, and copy whatever is in there, which is what I've done in the program. And so we get this area here. Of course, you have to add the StreamWriter syntax, as I have done here, but we also need to copy from the Designer Generated Code this code here, self.uninitialized plus equals analysis technique underscore uninitialized. So I think that is everything. And if you're interested in this, you might also be interested in looking at tutorial 145, which also shows an example of using StreamWriter, but also using StreamReader. If you have not done so already, then please go to markplex.com and join my email list. And also, of course, subscribe to wherever you're watching this video. Thank you very much.